Hello, YouTube fam. Dr. Jen coming live to talk to you about staying healthy through the holidays. So, this is a great time of year. This is really my favorite time of year. I'm going to elevate my computer a little bit here. Um, but, sometimes it feels like it is a marathon, right? Because we start with Thanksgiving and we go 5 weeks until we get to the new year. And then all of a sudden we're like, oh, I'm ready to get healthy now. But you know what? I don't know what they're breaking upstairs in my house. Hopefully you can't hear them. But it actually is great. I always think that I talk about joyful medicine because I think that our health and our joy should be intermingled. And often we feel like we have to put off, our healthy habits until after the fun because we think somehow if we are staying on track that has to mean, you know, forgetting all the fun. And excuse me, I have quite a different view on this. I think that really the healthiest habits are ones that are sustainable and include all of what life has to offer, right? We should be able to enjoy all the flavors and tastes and experiences, but do it in a way that also supports our health. And it's totally doable, right? It's we, especially here in the United States. I think other places around the world may have a different view because the United States, I feel like we have so much go 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 go, and we're led by capitalism, so everything has to go faster and faster and faster. And because of that, we need a break. But when if we can build this into our lives, build the breaks in, build the life in, so that we are working to live instead of living to work, and everything's not all or nothing, then we're much happier and our health benefits in the long run. So, say that all to say is the holiday season, a lot of times the holiday season, I know myself, especially when my kids were younger. Now it's a little bit better because my kids have, are participating and all of that. But you feel like you have to do all the shopping, all the cooking, all the prepping, you're still working and, keeping all the balls in the air. And baking cookies, doing everything. And so everything suffers, right? We're not in our regular schedule. So maybe we're not eating the things we normally eat. Maybe we're not hydrating as well as we should normally. We're not sleeping because we're trying to squeeze all the things in. We may be indulging in alcohol and other foods that we don't normally indulge in. And when we do all of this without putting anything back in the refilling the bucket, then by the time the new year comes, we're like 100 steps behind. And instead of that, if we, pour from a more full cup, then we're able to be more resilient and really maintain, throughout. And, there is a real implication for our health when we talk about this. We know that if you gain weight, the 5 or 10 pounds you gain over the holiday, a lot of times people never lose that and it just keeps compounding. There are higher rates of heart attacks, blood pressure goes up, diabetes is out of control. All of these things happen over the holidays, but it doesn't have to be this way. When we continue to focus on these baseline principles, we're able to maintain. So I have a few tips. I always like to talk about stress and joy, really joy as a way of modulating our nervous system and regulating everything. And, the holidays are filled with joy, but often, again, that time we feel very rushed. So the first thing I like to talk about is just taking those moments of, quiet. I know when my kids were little, one of the things I would love to do is wake up really early and go for a run or go for a walk. And that was like my quiet before chaos ensued. Sometimes the holidays that doesn't happen because you're up early dealing with all the things. But where in your day can you squeeze in that 10-minute walk, 30-minute walk, or just 10 minutes to yourself? That's really important because what it does is it kind of resets your nervous system. And anytime we can do that, when we can stimulate our vagus nerve, when we can just quiet the mind for a few minutes, it can be really powerful. It can help with our sleep. It can lower our stress. It can lower our inflammation. It can improve our gut health. So all of these things can benefit from that. So talking about stress, sometimes the holidays do come with anxiety, stress. It affects our sleep and all of those things. One of my favorite calming supplements is this Inner Calm by Arbonne, and it is really powerful. It tastes really good. This is a pink lemonade flavor. It has ashwagandha and saffron and Ayurvedic herbs that are known to help with calming, and they do help just give you an overall sense of well-being calmness, but they also help with sleep. So it doesn't make you drowsy, but it helps you fall asleep and stay asleep. So this is a great thing to add to your regimen if you're not already taking it. You can take it anytime during the day, first thing in the morning, middle of the day is a great addition. Tastes really good too. So talking about food, I always think that we, I talk about fiber as a way to build health, and that's really important when we think about fiber as a way of the base of your a healthy diet, of a sustainable diet. I talk about that because it helps support your gut health. It stabilizes your blood sugar. It helps you be full, so it keeps you satiated. And so I often talk about, like, when it gets to the holiday season, making sure that you are nourishing yourself with things that are nutrient dense, fiber rich before the party or cookie or whatever. So if you make that a baseline, if you're starting with that and then you're adding the other things on top, then you're in a better place than if you just do the other things, right? So focusing on, nourishing meals. So sometimes you are in a rush. So other ways is having maybe a shake, a healthy shake to start the day. My favorite, of course, is Arbonne. I choose Arbonne's shake, and this is actually this limited edition flavor, chai protein, one of my favorites of all time. It's chai flavored. Actually, if you mix the chai and the coffee together, boom. But chai protein is great. I do it with, I always add fruit to mine because I always think of where can I add more fiber to my meals and food. So I'll do the chai protein. I'll add some berries or mango and turmeric. And that's a great way to start the day. You're starting with a nutrient dense meal. It's filled with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and all those good things that help your body boost your metabolism, boost your gut health, and boost your brain health, because that is, I should say, the most important thing to nourish. Your brain has your highest metabolic rate. It is important that you nourish your brain. So focusing on not skipping meals. So sometimes I actually heard somebody say this today, is that they didn't eat early in the day so that they can indulge in their dinner later, whatever it was for the holidays. And I take a different approach. I think it's actually better to nourish yourself with nutrient dense food. And then when you have the holiday special, you're not having as much of it. And you're having it at a baseline where you've already boosted your gut health, you've already supported your organs, and having that on top of it is okay. I never say that you shouldn't have whatever the special treat is or whatever the thing is you like, but it's more important, and this is something that I think people miss all the time. It's more important to make sure you're abundantly consuming those things that are really nourishing. And so instead of waiting and just giving your body this blast of sugar, high fat, high oil, high salt food, nourish your body first with all of the good things, and then you'll have less of those other foods. You can still enjoy them fully, but you won't be consuming as much. And again, you're coming from a place of where you have provided nourishment. So I love to have the shake. Like if you're rushing, starting the day with a shake. I also add the greens to it. I love these greens. I think this is something, especially where most Americans don't have their 7 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day, or 5 to 7. I say 7 to 9, but 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables. This counts as one serving, but even better, it's a rainbow of fruits and veggies in one scoop. So that's the other really important thing when you talk about your gut health, is you want to be having all the different colors of the rainbow, ideally every day. So this is a great way to fill in the gaps. I always talk about supplements as filling in the gaps, but it's a great way, like if you're rushing and you need something quick in the morning, instead of grabbing a donut or a pastry, you can start with a shake with the greens, some fruit, and boom, you're starting the day on a good note. You've nourished your brain, you've nourished your gut, you've provided a high fiber balance to start the day, and you're ready to go. And that will keep you full and satisfied and nourished and making good decisions later in the day, because that's really what it's all about, is making better choices. And if you are coming from a place of being nourished, then you're more likely to choose something better later on. Maybe you still will enjoy the treat, which is fine, but at least you're not grabbing for it because you're starved, right? So I always, again, talk about that abundance. It's really, really important. Um, I was going to say something else. So that's a great thing. Another thing I love, if you are low in energy, maintaining your energy throughout the day. I love fizz as a way. I still love my morning coffee, but if I need a little boost later in the day, if you're planning on staying up later, fizz is a great natural energy. It has B vitamins and ginseng and guarana help you stay focused. Gives you that just gentle increased energy without the crash. Has about half the caffeine as you would have in a cup of coffee. Again, if you have trouble sleeping, I would avoid the caffeine later in the day. But again, at this time of year, maybe you are staying up later. Talking about sleep, actually, I'll talk about hydration first. So, if you are indulging, I always recommend, if you are drinking alcohol, think about breaking it up with some water in between, maybe having a mocktail with some ginger and lemon or mint, all these great herbs that you can add to have a great make a great mocktail, because alcohol does, take a toll on your metabolism, on your sleep. It can make you drowsy into the next day. It can affect your sleep, though you may fall asleep. You'll end up waking up or having more disturbed sleep. And so it's just something to think in mind. You want to be staying hydrated um, at minimum, and then maybe alternating or substituting some mocktails with your cocktails. Another thing to think about is staying hydrated. If you are indulging, this is a great way to replace electrolytes so that it kind of helps rehydrate you if you have stayed up later and indulge later than you normally would. If you do have difficulty sleeping, this is my favorite pre-bedtime beverage, trying to keep some routine around sleep. So you may burn the midnight oil, maybe during holiday season, but keep in mind it's really ideally you always want to try and keep the same sleep-wake cycle. Maybe you go a little bit later, but keep in mind that you want to wake at the same time every day. That's what kind of sets the tone, sets your circadian rhythm, and that rhythm is really what keeps your sleep balanced. So if maybe you stay up a little bit later, maybe keep your same wake time, maybe take a little afternoon nap, not too long, but a little bit just to kind of give you that refresh, but keep that same sleep wake cycle. That's really important for keeping the strain. When you don't have good sleep, that it is an additional stressor, and it also makes you more irritable. It affects your metabolism. It affects your satiety and your hunger hormones. So protecting your sleep as much as you can. And the way to protect is keeping the same sleep wake cycle. If you're staying up a little bit later, keep the morning wake time. That's really important. This is great. It has lavender, has chamomile. Really is a great pre-bed thing to drink. With your wind down, I recommend a calming nighttime routine. So whether you're journaling or reading with a book or a Kindle with regular lighting, not backlight, not using the blue light before bed, and keeping that and adding this maybe to your regimen too. Great way to end the night. And I'll just add one of my favorite holiday items. So skin oil, especially here, where it's good for everywhere, but here in the Northeast, the air is really dry. It's wintertime. My skin is really dry. I don't know if yours is really dry. This is a great indulgent I'd like to think of it as my little spa treatment. It's a very nice way to end the night after your shower or bath. It has a very nice citrus flavor, so that's a great bedtime combo. The dream tea, inner calm during the day to keep you calm. The dream tea and the body oil before bed, or just anytime. So that's my little holiday staying healthy tips. If you have any questions on any of the things that I've shared here, or you have questions in general about staying healthy through the holidays, let me know that. And come back. I'm going to be doing these more regularly. I think Thursday nights at 5 p.m. is a good time. So if that's a good time for you, hopefully you'll join me live. If not, you can always catch the replay. And I'll be sharing tips and tricks with Arbonne and all healthy lifestyle tips as well. I have a free Facebook group. If you want to join there, I'm always sharing. Occasionally, we do monthly challenges, but also sharing tips and tricks about Arbonne products. I do specials. I like to do little giveaways for my preferred clients and people that just join. So you can join if you're ever curious about the business. I have been an Arbonne consultant for 8 years now. Even as a physician, I find it a great way to have a little extra income, especially because it's something that I can do in my free time. I love these products and I love being able to share them and give people safer options, because we know that really there's very little regulation around personal care products in the United States, even less these days. So being able to use products that you can trust is really important. They also really center sustainability. It's a certified B corporation, so that means they take that seriously. They can't just greenwash and say it's green. They really do have to have a mission for the greater good, which means responsible for the environment, responsible for their employees, responsible for the people that purchase their products. So if you want to ever want to learn more about business, just book a quick discovery call, 15 minutes. I can tell you all about it. Thank you for watching. Have a great evening.